Understanding the distinction: Hebrew, Israelite, and Jew. Let's be honest. Have you ever used the words Hebrew, Israelite, and Jew like they're the same thing? Don't worry, you're not alone. Most of us do. But in doing that, we miss out on a fascinating story of identity that unfolds over thousands of years. These aren't just different words for the same people. They're distinct titles, each marking a key moment in an incredible story. In this video, we're going to pull on the historical thread that connects Abraham's clan of Hebrews to the Israelite kingdom, and finally, to the emergence of the Jewish people. By the end, you won't just get the difference. You'll see how these three names tell one continuous story of identity, faith, and sheer survival. This isn't just a dry history lesson. It's a revelation hidden in plain sight. Section 1. The Hebrews, a people who crossed over. Our story starts nearly 4,000 years ago with one key figure, Abram, who the world would come to know as Abraham. The very first time we see the title that starts our journey is in Genesis 14:13, where he's called Abram the Hebrew. So what does Hebrew even mean? The term in Hebrew is Ivri, and while its origins are debated, the most powerful meaning comes from the root word avar, which means to cross over. And Abraham was, quite literally, a man who crossed over. He got a divine call to pack up, leave his home in Mesopotamia, cross the Euphrates River, and journey to a new, promised land. Think about it. He was a wanderer, an outsider, a pilgrim in a land that wasn't his yet. The title Hebrew basically meant the people from the other side of the river. It wasn't really a religious title at first, but more of a social and ethnic one. It set Abraham and his descendants, his son Isaac and his grandson Jacob, apart from all the other peoples around them. This name defined their unique identity as a nomadic clan, a family that dared to cross from the familiar into the great unknown, all based on a promise. For the next few hundred years, this is who they were, the Hebrews. Section 2. The Israelites, a nation forged in covenant. Okay, so that's Hebrew. The story shifts with Abraham's grandson, Jacob. Jacob's life was defined by struggle, but one wild, mystical night changed everything, his name and the destiny of his entire people. Genesis 32 tells the unbelievable story of Jacob spending a whole night wrestling with a mysterious man, often seen as an angel or even God himself. As dawn breaks, bruised but stubborn, Jacob demands a blessing. In response, the figure tells him, "Your name shall no longer be called Jacob, but Israel, for you have striven with God and with men, and have prevailed." This is a huge turning point. The name Israel can be translated as "he who strives with God." It signals a massive transformation from Jacob, the individual, to Israel, the father of a nation chosen to be in a unique, covenant relationship with God. From then on, Jacob's 12 sons became the founders of the 12 tribes of the nation of Israel. Their identity evolved. They weren't just Hebrews anymore, a wandering clan named for an ancestor who crossed a river. Now, they were the children of Israel, or the Israelites. They became a unified nation, bound together by a shared covenant with God that they received at Mount Sinai in the form of the Torah. The term Israelite signals a national and religious identity. It describes the people of the Promised Land who built a kingdom under Saul, David, and Solomon, and worshipped at the temple in Jerusalem. To be an Israelite was to be a citizen of God's chosen nation. Section 3. The Jews, an identity forged in exile. So how do we get from Israelite to Jew? Well, this next chapter is a story of division, disaster, and ultimately, unbelievable resilience. After King Solomon's reign around 930 BCE, the great kingdom of Israel split in two. The northern tribes kept the name Kingdom of Israel, while the southern kingdom, which included the tribes of Judah and Benjamin, became known as the Kingdom of Judah. In 722 BCE, disaster struck. The Assyrian Empire conquered the northern kingdom and scattered its 10 tribes. These became the famous lost tribes of Israel, and they mostly vanished from the main historical record. This left only the southern kingdom of Judah to carry on the covenant. Its people were called Yehudim in Hebrew, meaning Judahites, and this is the origin of the word Jew. Then, in 586 BCE, a second, even worse disaster hit. The Babylonian Empire conquered Judah, destroyed the sacred temple in Jerusalem, and dragged the kingdom's leaders and skilled people into exile in Babylon. This catastrophe, the Babylonian exile, became the forge where modern Jewish identity was created. Far from home and without their temple, the people of Judah, the Jews, had to find a new way to be a people. Their identity became centered on the Torah, on prayer, and on traditions they could carry with them. When the Persians conquered Babylon and allowed the exiles to return and rebuild the temple, it was mainly the Jews who went back. From this moment on, Jew became the common name for the descendants of Israel, no matter their original tribe. It no longer just meant someone from the kingdom of Judah, but any Israelite who kept the faith that survived the exile. The name Jew is, at its heart, a story of survival, an identity tied not to land, but to a portable heritage of faith that could withstand anything. Clarifications for the modern world. Now let's bring this into the 21st century and clear up a couple of other terms. The first is Israeli. This is a modern national identity. An Israeli is simply a citizen of the modern state of Israel, founded in 1948. It's a political term, not a religious one. While most Israelis are Jewish, about a quarter of the population isn't, including Muslims, Christians, and Druze. The second term is Hebrew Israelite. This refers to members of a spiritual movement that began primarily among African Americans in the late 19th century. Adherents believe they are the true descendants of the biblical Israelites. It's a distinct spiritual movement with its own beliefs, separate from mainstream Judaism. Now, you may have heard of some extremist sects, and it's true that a few have been designated as hate groups for their extremist and anti-Semitic beliefs. However, it's crucial to understand that the vast majority of Hebrew Israelites are not part of these factions. Conclusion. So let's do a quick recap of this incredible journey. Hebrew was the first title, an ethnic term for Abraham's family, who crossed over. Israelite became the national name for Jacob's descendants after his divine struggle, a nation bound in a covenant with God. Jew emerged from the surviving kingdom of Judah, becoming the enduring name for a people who rebuilt their identity around faith after exile. From a wandering clan to a covenanted nation to a resilient people of faith, each name tells a vital part of the story. It's a progression that reveals a narrative of divine promises, human struggle, and the unbreakable power of identity. These aren't just words. They are the footprints of a people's journey through history. If this video helped you see this amazing history in a new light, do us a favor and hit that like button and share it with someone who might find it interesting. And for more content that unpacks the stories hidden in history and scripture, make sure you subscribe. Thank you for watching. Understanding that these names aren't just synonyms, but chapters in one epic story, gives us a whole new clarity when we read our history and our sacred texts.